Sai Ram, Vanakkam, Namaskar, Vandanam, Salam Alaikum, and Sat Sri Akal. We looked at greed, in the last episode. Today we move on to something desire, because they are, interconnected, they're related, and, they're kindred in so many ways. So what is desire? It's a wish, you want, you crave, it's a kind of appetite, an appetency, a hankering, a hunger, an itch of sorts, Whereas if you look at the opposite meaning, it means abhorrence, allergy, averseness, aversion, disfavor. So you always want to know what something means. You look at the opposite and you'll get a clear idea of what it should be or what it shouldn't be, right? Adi Shankara said desire is the main impediment for spiritual growth or spiritual evolution. He said, as the mind becomes gradually established in the self, it proportionately gives up the desire for external objects. And when all such desires have been eliminated, then there is an unobstructed realization of the self, right? So that is desire. And I thought it's a nice, move from greed to desire, so you can draw the connections and join the dots, as it were. So an emperor was coming out of his palace for his morning walk, and as he was walking, he met a beggar. He asked the beggar, "You're a poor guy, isn't it? What do you want?" The beggar laughed, looked at him and said, "You're asking me as though you can fulfill my desires." The king said, "Of course I can. You know who I am. I am the emperor of this country, right? There is nothing that I cannot do. So don't waste my time. Just tell me. Of course I can fulfill your desire. What is it that you want? Just tell me." And the beggar said, "Well, think twice before you promise anything." Because the beggar was not an ordinary beggar. He was the emperor's past life master, who would come back to tell a message to this emperor. Of course, the emperor doesn't know that, but he had promised this emperor in his previous life that when you are off track, I will come back and remind you of, what your true journey would be or should be. So, he had come in the form of the beggar. The king met him there, and he said, "And are you sure you're promising me even before thinking?" And the king, short of being offended, he said, no, just tell me, I can do this. It's not a big problem. And the beggar said, "Well, you see, I have a begging bowl, right? Can you fill it in with something? Can you fill it with something? Whatever it is, whether food or gold or coins or, whatever, right?" The king said, "Is that all? And for this, you were giving me a lecture about, promising and thinking and all of that sort of thing." And the king called his man to come, and he said, "Go and bring me some gold coins. You see this bowl? Bring it for the size of the bowl." So they went and brought that, and the king poured it inside, put all the gold coins inside. But as soon as he put things inside the bowl, the things disappeared and the bowl was empty. So the king said, "Okay, it's okay, bring some more." And every time, so the king thought, maybe I won't put gold coins, maybe I'll put something else. He put something else, the same thing happened. He put clothes, he put food, goes. Anything he puts goes. And he was, and soon people had heard about this and everybody gathered around and all of that. The king did not give up because he wanted to prove that he can do this. Whereas, of course, the soul that was in the form of the beggar knew, after, hours and hours of filling it up and nothing was in the bowl, finally the king gave up and he said, "I just need to know, right? What is this begging bowl made of?" At that point, the beggar said, "It is made up of the human mind. There is no secret. It is a simple thing. It is made up of human desire. The desire that transforms life from what it was to something it shouldn't be." Right? So he said, The desire is like this begging bowl. The more you have of something, the less you will see, and the more you will want. And that continues, you know. But once you have something, you are satisfied for a minute, and then the next minute you want something else, right? That's why I said to you, when I did Govindam, right? Muda jahihi danagama trishnam, leave out these desires that, eat your life up, So your mind is very, very important here, right? Whether we're talking sympathy, whether we're talking greed, whether we're talking desire, mind is most important. When this is corrected and it is aligned to principles of human values, then everything else falls into place. It's a jigsaw puzzle, Once you sort the big things out, the little things fall into places. It's very simple. So the journey, the spiritual journey, should not be moving outside. It should be moving inside, where you're actually going home, not going away from home. Because where is home? Home is in the heart and in the mind. So go within. That's the message. Vivekananda said, so long as there is desire, or want, it is a sure sign that there is imperfection. A perfect spiritual person is one who does not have anything more than what he basically needs, because everything else is desire. And you know something, right? Shakespeare said, he said, give me that man that is not a passion's slave, that is not the laborer of desire, and I will wear him in my heart's core. William Shakespeare, in his own, inimitable way. And Buddha said, our necessities never equal our wants, because our wants, our desires, will always disappoint us. When we have something, we want something else. When we get that something else, we want something else, Well, and Swami says, radiate boundless love. That should be only desire, to radiate boundless love towards the entire world. Sri Satya Sai. Till I see you next week. Stay blessed. Bye.